Long before the glint of gold caught the eye, the people of this land, what we now call Thailand, lived by a different rhythm. Their world was one of exchange, a direct and honest trade of goods. Imagine a bustling market, not filled with the clinking of coins, but with the sounds of negotiation. A farmer with a basket of fragrant rice might trade his harvest for fine pottery, crafted by the skilled hands of a village artisan. A fisherman, his nets heavy with the day's catch from the shimmering gulf, could exchange his fish for strong tools made of bronze or iron. This was life, a complex web of needs and skills, all woven together without a single piece of money. This system, known as barter, was the bedrock of their economy for centuries. It was a personal system, built on trust and the perceived value of things. How many clay pots was a bushel of rice worth? How many stone axes for a finely woven silk cloth? These were the questions of the day. It required deep knowledge of local goods and a good sense of fairness. This wasn't a primitive way of life, it was a sophisticated dance of supply and demand, played out in villages and along riverbanks. The value of an object was tied directly to its usefulness, its beauty, or the effort it took to create it. It was a world measured in tangible things. Even in this world of barter, certain items began to stand out. People needed something that was easier to carry than a dozen chickens or a large pot. Cowrie shells, those beautiful small shells from the sea, became a common medium of exchange. They were durable, portable, and difficult to forge. In other places, people used beads made of stone or glass, or even specially shaped pieces of metal. These weren't coins as we know them, but they were the first glimmer of an idea. They were a step away from pure barter, a move towards something that could represent value in a more abstract, convenient way. The land itself was rich. It held treasures beneath the soil, metals like bronze and iron that were shaped into tools, weapons, and ornaments. These metals had inherent worth. A well-made bronze dagger was not just a tool, it was a symbol of status, a work of art, a valuable possession. The people who lived here were already skilled metallurgists. They understood the properties of different metals and how to work them. This deep, ancient knowledge of metal would become incredibly important. It was the foundation upon which the glittering journey of Thai coinage would eventually be built, waiting for a spark from distant shores. The world began to change around the 1st century CE. Great shifts were happening across the globe. The Roman Empire was at its height in the west, and the Han dynasty flourished in the east. Connecting these great powers was a network of trade routes, arteries of commerce that pulsed with life, carrying goods, ideas, and people across vast distances. And the land of Thailand, with its long coastline, was perfectly placed to become a vital crossroads. Ships from the west, particularly from India, began to arrive on its shores, their sails full of the monsoon winds. They were searching for spices, for exotic woods, and for gold. These Indian traders did not just bring goods to trade, they brought with them a sophisticated culture, new beliefs, and groundbreaking ideas that would reshape the region forever. They introduced concepts of statecraft and kingship, new forms of art and architecture, and the religions of Hinduism and Buddhism. But among the most powerful ideas they carried was the concept of money. In India, coinage had been used for centuries. Rulers stamped their symbols onto pieces of precious metal, creating a standardized form of currency that made trade easier, faster, and more widespread than ever before. Imagine the perspective of a local merchant, used to trading in rice or shells, seeing a foreign coin for the first time. It would have been a revelation. Here was a small, portable object, a piece of silver or gold, guaranteed by a distant king to have a certain value. It was universal. It could be used to buy anything, from anyone, without the lengthy process of haggling over the value of two different goods. This wasn't just a convenient tool, it was a symbol of power, of a centralized authority that could impose its will and its standard across a wide area. The idea was revolutionary, the influence was profound and lasting. The languages of Pali and Sanskrit, brought by these traders and scholars, became the languages of the court and of religion. The stories and myths of India were woven into the local culture, and the concept of coinage began to take root. Early communities in what is now Thailand started to see the advantages of this new technology. It was a seed planted in fertile ground. The local expertise in metalworking, combined with this new, powerful idea from across the sea, would soon blossom into something uniquely Thai, a monetary system that reflected the land's own growing identity and power. As Indian influence spread, powerful new kingdoms began to rise in Southeast Asia. One of the earliest and most significant was the Funan Kingdom, which flourished from the 1st to the 7th century CE. Centered in the Mekong Delta, its power and influence stretched across much of the region, including parts of modern-day Thailand. Funan was a great maritime empire, a hub of international trade that connected the Indian Ocean to the South China Sea. Its ports were filled with ships from as far away as Rome and China, and its markets buzzed with a dozen different languages. It was here that the first true coins in the region were minted. The rulers of Funan, understanding the needs of this vast trading network, began to issue their own currency. They adopted the Indian model, creating coins from silver. These early coins are fascinating artifacts. They often feature symbols of power and divinity, clearly inspired by Indian prototypes. You might see a rising sun, a symbol of royalty and power, or the Srivatsa, a sacred Hindu symbol associated with the god Vishnu. These were not just pieces of metal, they were declarations. They announced to the world that Funan was a powerful, civilized kingdom with a ruler who commanded the authority to issue money. Following the decline of Funan, a new culture rose to prominence in central Thailand, the Dvaravati. From the 7th to the 11th century, these Mon-speaking people created a network of city-states that became centers of Buddhist art and learning. The Dvaravati people also embraced the use of coinage. Their silver coins continued the tradition started by Funan, but with their own distinct style. The symbols changed, reflecting their devout Buddhist faith. Instead of Hindu gods, their coins might show a conch shell, a symbol of the Buddha's teachings, or a deer, referencing the Buddha's first sermon in the deer park at Sarnath. These early coins from Funan and Dvaravati are incredibly important. They represent the first chapter in the story of Thai money. Although no gold coins from this period have been definitively found in large numbers, the system was in place. These kingdoms established the fundamental principle of a standardized, state-issued currency. They demonstrated how coinage could fuel trade, centralize power, and express cultural identity. They were laying the groundwork, building the institutional and cultural framework that would allow the spectacular gold coinage of later Thai kingdoms to emerge. They were the pioneers, taking the first bold steps on a long and glittering road. The 13th century was a time of great change. The old empires were fading, and a new, powerful Thai identity was beginning to assert itself. Out of this ferment, the first truly independent Thai kingdom was born, Sukhothai. The name itself means dawn of happiness, and it truly was a new beginning. Under visionary kings like the great Ram Khamhaeng, Sukhothai became a center of political power, artistic innovation, and religious devotion. It was the cradle of Thai civilization, the place where the Thai alphabet was created, and where a unique Thai style of art and architecture was forged. And it was here that a truly distinctive form of currency was born. The rulers of Sukhothai needed a monetary system that was all their own. They wanted something that broke from the earlier Indian-inspired flat coins of the Dvaravati. They needed a currency that was difficult to counterfeit, easy to handle, and uniquely Thai. Their solution was ingenious and would dominate the Siamese economy for the next 600 years. They created a coin known as the Pod Duang, which foreigners would later call bullet coins because of their distinctive shape. These were not flat discs. They were solid bars of silver or gold, bent into a rounded, almost spherical form. The creation of Pod Duang was a statement of sovereignty. By moving away from the flat coins that had been used before, the Sukhothai kings were declaring their independence. They were showing that their kingdom was not just a successor to the old ways, but something new and different. The production of these coins was strictly controlled by the royal court. The palace treasury, and only the treasury, had the authority to mint them. This centralized control ensured the quality of the metal and the integrity of the currency, which in turn fostered trust and stability throughout the kingdom's economy. The Pod Duang was more than just money, it was a symbol of the kingdom itself. Each piece was made from precious metal, usually silver for everyday transactions, but also gold for high-value payments and royal gifts. They were stamped with official marks, identifying the reign of the king and the kingdom they came from. For the people of Sukhothai, these solid, weighty pieces of metal were a tangible link to their king and their kingdom. They represented the prosperity, stability, and happiness that the new kingdom promised. The Pod Duang was the financial heart of the dawn of happiness. The design of the Pod Duang was, honestly, a stroke of practical genius. To make one, a bar of silver or gold of a specific weight was heated until it was malleable. Then, its ends were hammered and bent inwards towards the middle, forming this distinctive rounded shape with a deep crease on one side. Now this wasn't done just for looks, it actually served several important purposes. The solid, chunky form made the coins incredibly durable. Unlike flat coins, they wouldn't easily bend or break. They could withstand centuries of handling, being passed from merchant to farmer, from official to soldier, without losing their form or value. Once the bar was shaped, it was stamped with official marks. This was the crucial step that turned a lump of metal into official currency. Typically, two stamps were used. One was a dynastic symbol, often the chakra, a wheel-like symbol representing the authority of the ruling house. The second stamp was the emblem of the reigning king. This could be a mythical creature, an animal, or a royal emblem. These marks guaranteed the coin's authenticity and its value. They were a royal promise, struck in metal, that this piece of silver or gold was genuine and of the correct weight. This system made counterfeiting extremely difficult. To create a fake Pod Duang, a forger would not only need to obtain high-purity silver or gold, but they would also need to perfectly replicate the complex shape and the official royal stamps. The deep crease from bending the bar was particularly hard to fake. Any inconsistency in the shape or stamps would be an immediate giveaway. This built-in security gave people immense confidence in their currency. Folks knew that the Pod Duang in their hand was real, its value backed by the full authority of the king, making trade safer and more reliable for everyone. The Pod Duang system was also, honestly, wonderfully scalable. The coins were made in a wide range of sizes and weights, creating different denominations. The standard unit was the baht, a weight of about 15 grams. But coins were made in smaller and larger sizes, from 1/64th of a baht up to 80 baht. This meant they could be used for everything, from buying a small meal at a market stall to financing a large trading expedition. Gold Pod Duang were reserved for the highest echelons of society, used for royal gifts, temple donations, and international trade, becoming a potent symbol of the kingdom's immense wealth. After the decline of Sukhothai, a new power rose to the south. The kingdom of Ayutthaya, founded in 1351, would become one of the most powerful and magnificent empires in Southeast Asian history. For over 400 years, its capital city, Ayutthaya, was a sprawling metropolis, a cosmopolitan hub of global trade. Portuguese, Dutch, French, Chinese, and Japanese merchants flocked to its port, eager to trade for Siamese goods. This was the golden age of Siam, and as the kingdom's wealth grew to staggering proportions, so too did the importance and splendor of its gold coinage. The kings of Ayutthaya continued the tradition of minting Pod Duang, but they did so on an unprecedented scale. The royal treasury produced vast quantities of silver bullet coins for daily commerce, but it was their gold coins that truly captured the kingdom's opulence. These gold Pod Duang were not just currency, they were concentrated wealth, symbols of absolute power. Foreign visitors rode in awe of the sheer amount of gold they saw in the capital. Palaces were adorned with it, Buddha statues were cast from it, and the king's officials were paid with it. Gold Pod Duang were at the very center of this glittering economy. These gold coins were used for the most important transactions. They were used to pay for the construction of a magnificent temple, to reward a victorious general, or to seal a diplomatic treaty with a foreign power. They were also a way for the king to store the kingdom's wealth. In an age before complex banking, stockpiling gold coins in the royal vaults was the ultimate form of national security. This immense treasury gave the kings of Ayutthaya the power to wage wars, build cities, and patronize the arts on a grand scale, solidifying their reputation as mighty and prosperous rulers. The end of this golden age came suddenly and tragically in 1767, when the Burmese army sacked the city of Ayutthaya. The magnificent capital was burned to the ground. The invaders looted the royal treasury, melting down countless gold and silver Pod Duang. It was a catastrophic loss, not just of wealth, but of history. So many of these beautiful artifacts, each one a link to the glorious past of the kingdom, were destroyed forever. Yet the idea of the Pod Duang survived the fall of the city, and the new dynasty that rose from the ashes would carry the tradition forward into a new era. After the fall of Ayutthaya, the Thais quickly regrouped, establishing a new capital, first in Thonburi and then in Bangkok. The new Chakri dynasty continued to mint the traditional Pod Duang. For over half a century, the bullet coin remained the familiar currency of the realm. However, by the mid-19th century the world was changing rapidly. The tide of European colonialism was rising across Asia. Powerful Western nations, with their industrial economies and modern armies, were expanding their influence, demanding open trade and diplomatic relations. Siam found itself in a precarious position, needing to modernize to survive. This great challenge fell to one of Thailand's most remarkable monarchs, King Mongkut, or Rama IV, who reigned from 1851 to 1868. King Mongkut was a brilliant scholar and a visionary leader. He had spent 27 years as a Buddhist monk before becoming king, during which time he studied Western languages, science, and politics. He understood that Siam could not remain isolated. To protect the kingdom's independence, he knew it had to engage with the West on its own terms. He signed treaties with Britain, France, and the United States, opening Siam to foreign trade and diplomacy. This explosion in international trade created a major problem for the old currency. The royal mint simply could not produce Pod Duang fast enough by hand to meet the soaring demand. Foreign merchants also found the bullet coins strange and inconvenient, as they were used to the flat, machine-made coins of Europe. King Mongkut realized that the currency itself had to be modernized. It was a bold and necessary step. Retaining the old Pod Duang would make Siam look backward, and could hinder the economic progress that was so vital for its survival. To solve this, King Mongkut made a revolutionary decision. In 1853 he imported a steam-powered minting machine from Britain. This was a radical break with 600 years of tradition. For the first time, Siam would produce flat, round, machine-made coins, just like the ones used in Europe. It was a powerful statement. It showed the world that Siam was a modern, forward-thinking nation, ready to take its place on the global stage. The decision to change the very shape of money was a key part of King Mongkut's strategy to safeguard his kingdom's sovereignty through modernization, not confrontation. The arrival of the minting machine marked the beginning of the end for the Pod Duang. The new flat coins were a symbol of a new era. The first ones produced were still made of gold and silver and were stamped with traditional Siamese symbols, such as the royal crown of the Chakri dynasty on one side and the elephant, a national symbol, inside a chakra on the other. This was a clever blend of the old and the new. The shape was modern and European, but the imagery was purely Thai, showing that the kingdom was modernizing without abandoning its identity. The transition was not immediate. For a few years, the old Pod Duang and the new flat coins circulated side by side. People had to get used to this new form of money. The weight standards based on the traditional baht were maintained to ensure a smooth changeover, but the efficiency of the new machine was undeniable. It could produce thousands of perfectly uniform coins in the time it took to make a handful of Pod Duang by hand. Slowly but surely, the new flat currency became the standard across the kingdom, and the production of bullet coins ceased. The reign of King Mongkut's son, King Chulalongkorn, or Rama V, saw the full consolidation of this new monetary system. He completed his father's reforms, fully decimalizing the currency. The baht was now divided into 100 satang, a system that remains in place to this day. The imagery on the coins also evolved, and for the first time, a portrait of the reigning monarch appeared on the currency, following the European style. This was another powerful assertion of modern kingship, putting the king's face directly into the hands of his people. The 600-year journey of the Pod Duang had come to an end. The bullet coin, once the lifeblood of the Siamese economy, became a relic of a bygone age. They were withdrawn from circulation, many melted down for their precious metal. Today, they are prized by collectors as beautiful and fascinating artifacts of Thailand's rich history. Each one, whether humble silver or magnificent gold, tells a story of ancient kingdoms, powerful kings, and a unique cultural identity. They are a silent testament to a world that has passed, a tangible piece of the soul of old Siam, a currency that was as distinctive and resilient as the kingdom it served. Even though gold coins are no longer used for everyday shopping, their story in Thailand is far from over. The gleam of gold continues to hold a special place in the hearts of the Thai people, representing prosperity, royalty, and national pride. In the modern era, the Royal Thai Mint has revived the tradition of striking gold coins, but for a new purpose. They are no longer meant for the marketplace, but are created as special commemorative issues. These coins are works of art, minted to celebrate significant events, honor important figures, and preserve the memory of the nation's history. These modern gold coins are produced to mark occasions of great national importance. A coin might be issued to celebrate a major anniversary of the Chakri dynasty, to commemorate the auspicious 60th birthday of a beloved monarch, or to mark a significant international event hosted by Thailand, like the APEC summit. Each design is carefully considered, rich with symbolism that tells a story. They connect the present moment back to the long and proud history of the nation, continuing the ancient tradition of using precious metal to record what is most important to the people. The craftsmanship of these commemorative coins is extraordinary. They are struck using modern technology to achieve a level of detail and perfection that would have been impossible in the past. Often produced in limited quantities, they are highly sought after by collectors both in Thailand and around the world. Owning one is like owning a small piece of Thai history and artistry. They are tangible links to the monarchy and the nation's heritage, serving a role that is ceremonial and cultural rather than purely economic. They are treasures, meant to be kept and cherished for generations. From the cowrie shells of ancient barter, to the first silver coins of Funan, from the unique Pod Duang of Sukhothai, to the opulent gold of Ayutthaya, and now to these modern commemorative issues, the journey of Thai coinage is a mirror of the nation's own story. It is a tale of adaptation, independence, and pride. Gold, the most precious of metals, has been there at every step, a silent witness to the rise and fall of kingdoms, a symbol of enduring wealth, and a shining thread that connects the modern kingdom of Thailand to its glittering and glorious